Have you ever dreamed of waking up to hill country views, a little cowboy vibe, and drinking local wine right next to Austin? Well, Dripping Springs might be your perfect match. Hi, I'm Nicole Cooper, Austin area real estate pro, and I've been helping people buy and sell homes in the Austin area for over 15 years, from Dripping Springs to Cedar Park to Lakeway. So if you're looking for lifestyle and location, you're in the right spot. Let's take a look at what makes this little town of Dripping Springs so cool and loved by everyone all around, and also one of the fastest growing cities in the area. So Dripping Springs is only about 25 miles out to the west of Austin, and this little map kind of highlights all the good stuff. Here, the orange star is Dripping Springs. This is Driftwood down here, and then Wimberley to the south. And all of these little blue dots are parks and entertainment districts and just fun things to note. So we'll be going through each one of these in detail so you can see what they're exactly like, but just know that this is the gateway to the hill country. And what does gateway to the hill country mean? You know, you're kind of getting away from Austin. All those lights begin to fade. You get out in the country and all the rolling terrain starts, and in any direction, you may have a panoramic view of the hill country. It's where small Texas town meets modern convenience. You're gonna find a lot of cowboys in Dripping Springs, pure Texas style. And there's also great schools, grocery shopping, and anything you might need in a small town. And it's not too far from the modern conveniences of Austin in the terms of healthcare, big business, and the like. And as for the gateway to the hill country, on this topographical map here, you can see all of this greenery around here and the hills that are moving throughout. So that gives you an idea. Now, what I'm going to tell you today, I'm going to tell you about the outdoor lifestyle, the schools, the type of real estate, the festivals, and most importantly, why Dripping Springs is so famous. First of all, we've already discussed it. It's the gateway to the hill country. But second, it's also the wedding capital of Texas. And lastly, they have the cutest little nickname called Sipping and Dripping. Why? Well, because they have wineries, they have distilleries, and they have breweries. They have the trifecta. So you will never get bored in and around the town of Dripping Springs. So stick around with me today. I'm going to show you examples of each of these types of things you can find, the wedding venues, and I'm going to show you just how good those schools are. Okay, the outdoor activities. We're going to hover on the biggest park, but I want to start in the one that's most Dripping Springs centric with all the cowboy vibes. So this is a large rodeo arena with this huge indoor space. They're going to have all kinds of events, from like this dog obstacle course to sit down galas, and you're going to have your little FHA competition with your sheep and livestock, chickens, and all that stuff. So it's a really large gathering place for the city. In addition, they have a trail out there where you can ride your horses around. You can walk it, of course, but it's mostly used for the horses in the area. And it's just near a nice water area that you're going to find a lot in Dripping Springs. So this Dripping Springs Ranch is one of the main event places in all of the whole county. So here is Dripping Springs right here. We're gonna go a little bit further north up here to Hamilton Pool Road. And this is one of the, I'd call it one of the jewels of Central Texas. People drive for miles to be here. And from this picture alone, you can see why. When we have lots of rain, we do get a waterfall effect out there. And when we don't have much rain, then, you know, it's just standard cliffside that you can jump off of. However, you have to be careful when we don't have much rain because it can get shallow. At points this last summer or in 2025, they did have to close it down because we've just been in such a drought situation. But we're coming back. We've had some rain over the weekend, so hopefully we can get back out there and get back in these falls like you can see here. So it's a really special place out there at Hamilton Pool. Right next to it, Reimers Ranch, larger area where you're going to have more kind of mountain biking and trails throughout. Water, you can go swimming there too. You can take the kids and the dogs out and everybody. A large ranch style park there. And then not too much further over to the west here, we have Pedernales Falls State Park. Another Central Texas beauty that everyone flocks to for miles around. Beautiful views, big limestone gulches out there, and places to walk all around. You can go kayaking. Are also some waterfalls here if you're lucky enough to find it in the wet season. So as you can see here in this Dripping Springs area, if you're into the outdoor activities, you have limitless possibilities. From taking your horse to your bike to your dog or just your happy feet and going for a walk. Now let's switch from the outside to that food and local flair. What we have here in the middle of Dripping Springs is Mercer Street, historical Mercer Street, if you will, and that is downtown. That is where all the little local mom and pop shops, from bars to restaurants to vintage clothing to antiques, are all down here right in the one street. So here you have Vintage Soul, that's women's vintage clothing, British Baking Company. We have a cocktail lounge. We have Homespun kitchen and bar for food. We have a coffee shop. There's ice cream shop down here. There's the barber shop that's a little bit of a pub. So it's just a really fun street, and you can walk completely from one end to the other and get to everything within just a short amount of time. And you can see how there are other restaurants and things that have been created in that, or built in that same area, because it's all quite walkable throughout here. Sipping and dripping, and here's the map. It has all of our breweries, tasting rooms, wineries, and more. The breweries are kind of this orangey gold color. Distilleries are in the light blue. Wineries are in the dark, deep red Pinot Noir color. And then the tasting rooms are that kind of purplish color. So you can get an idea. Here's an entire list here, so you won't get bored. Just go and check these out. So let's touch on that sipping and dripping nickname. Deep Eddy Vodka kind of just made a name for Dripping Springs a long time ago. They have the coolest tasting room out there. I've even been to a wedding here. It's a large venue, indoors and outdoors. So if the weather permits, which it does most of the year, you can get married outside, have the band inside or outside, and it's just a really cool vibe there at the Deep Eddy Distillery. From the Deep Eddy Distillery, we can head over to Fitzhugh Brewing. There are quite a few breweries out in the area, and we're not going to touch them all today, but I just want to give you an idea of how most of them are set up. Huge outdoor areas, plenty of room for the kids and the dogs to run around, big indoor industrial spaces inside with the big brewery vats in there doing their thing, making the beer. And this is kind of typical of what you would find in all of the breweries in the area. They're going to have some pub food type snacks, and then lots of good local flair beer with plenty of room outside to sit around under the big oak trees. Our third part of the sipping and dripping trifecta is a winery. Bell Springs Winery, another one. You can see how they all have the indoor and outdoor seating. Beautiful front porch here with that wooden deck. It's just a really, really cool vibe here at the Bell Springs. And one more winery before we move on, over here closer to the Driftwood area, Driftwood Estate Winery. This one is well known for having weddings there. I think they all have plenty of weddings, but we'll get to that in a minute. This one here over in Driftwood, this is what I want to show you, this beautiful outdoor area under the trees. So you get the idea about Dripping Springs. Everybody likes to be outside under the trees, overlooking nature. Let's talk about another main reason people move to Dripping Springs, other than to be just a little bit more quiet than Austin. It's got a great school district. Have a look here at texasschools.gov. First of all, we have the overall ranking here for the total independent school district. Gets an 89 out of 100, and their whole enrollment for the entire ISD is under 9,000 students. Here's their diversity graph here, and overall they have around 15 students per teacher. Now, I'm not going to go into each elementary school because there's too many, but there are only 2 middle schools and 2 high schools, so I'm going to show you both of those. For Dripping Springs Middle School, they get an 88 out of 100. Total enrollment under 1,000 kids, and that puts it at 14.3 students per teacher. The other middle school at Sycamore Springs gets a 92 out of 100. Total enrollment just over 1,000, and that puts it at almost 15 students per teacher there. And lastly, the Dripping Springs High School, they get an 88 out of 100. Their enrollment is just over 2,500 students. Here's their diversity graph, and then their total students per teacher is just under 17 students. So overall, a very well-respected school system. They do great in college prep, both academics, athletics, arts, and community spirit. So everybody raves about the Dripping Springs School District that has their kids in there. One thing to note though, they do have staggered school times. So if you have kids of different ages, you can't drop them all off at once. It's interesting. You may have to drop one off, come back and get another and go there, or divide and conquer if you have multiple adults in the house. But check that out before you plan on your mornings being nice and easy on school days. Up next, let's talk about that wedding capital of Texas venue, our nickname. Look at this venue here with this gorgeous oak tree. This is what you're going to find a lot of. Now, hold tight while I scroll through all of these wedding venues. They just keep going and going and going. So note that in most any of the distilleries, the breweries, and the wineries, they will have an opportunity for you to host a wedding there. People host them in their houses, in their barns. I mean, anywhere you have a view, if you will, that's an excellent spot for a wedding venue. We can just check out one real quick. It's called the Arlo, one of the fancier ones in the area, and you can see this beautiful home here. You can have your seats here in the middle. Outside, you can have them over in the indoors area, and it's a very, very popular event space, as you can see from these wedding photos here. So that's just one of many. You will never run dry on finding a wedding event venue in the Drip. So next, they also have a lot of festivals around. Founders Weekend, Dripping Springs Fair and Rodeo. I've already shown you the Rodeo Hall. Hill Country Rally for Kids, Dripping with Taste Festival, Songwriters Festival, and Christmas on Mercer. So you're going to have events all year round there, because for most part, we can do stuff outdoors. And if not, they have those big industrial venues, and especially at that rodeo facility, you could have half the town in there without even noticing. So from rodeos to songwriter nights, everyone gets together in Dripping Springs and feels like one big family. Let's talk real estate in Dripping Springs. Think room for the horses, goats, chickens, larger lot sizes for the most part. Now, as the homes get newer, those new communities, the lot sizes do start to get smaller, and I'll show you some examples here in just a sec. But think country living. You're gonna have more towards like a half an acre to 3 acres for your house instead of 0.10 of an acre in the city of Austin. The living lifestyle is just more kind of privacy from your neighbor, big trees in the yard, and kind of fencing far away from the house. So that's in general what you're going to find. Now, as the developers have gone in there in recent years, they're trying to find more ways to put more houses on one little piece of land, and I'm going to show you what they've done. So the newer the house you're going to find, or the newer the house is, the smaller the lot is going to be. And that's pretty much in all of Texas. And they're doing that because they can have a lower entry price for the buyer. And in addition, they can make more money by putting more units on the same piece of land. So let's take a look. You can get in this area under $500,000, even though the median sale price is $640,000. Take a look at this one here. A nice 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,821 square foot home for under $400,000, $399,000 to be exact. So look at this. This is what I was talking about, the lot size, 0.12 acres. Pretty small. And as you can see by this picture here, you're very, very close to your neighbor. You can kind of know when they get home and when they leave for work because they're so close to you. But beautiful home, beautiful build out on the inside, that kind of farmhouse style that's so popular right now. Not much color, just everything quite neutral, but very nice. The next example I'm going to give you, this is a more traditional type home in Dripping Springs. You've got that limestone siding, the kind of that tobacco color. This house, 3,557 square feet, and here's where that lot gets a bit bigger, 3/4 of an acre there. $875,000. This one was built in 2018. So if we look here, this one is much larger on the inside, has a little bit more detail in the kitchen, and just a little bit nicer quality craftsmanship throughout. But this is more typical of a Dripping Springs yard. Trees, you can't see your neighbor, a lot of privacy. That is more what you're going to find in Dripping Springs of a home that's not one of those new little small master plan communities. And lastly, the other end of the spectrum, 28 acres here, 4,169 square feet, going for $3,800,000. This one was built in 2018. This is the epitome of why a lot of people move out to the Dripping Springs area. You can get a beautiful home on an actual piece of land. No neighbors at all for 26 acres worth. So this one's beautiful new construction, mixing those trends with the metal roof, the limestone siding, wood siding, all of that. And then of course you have these indoor, outdoor, panoramic views, the wide opening doors so you can have those parties where people just flow inside and out. You've got the exposed wood beams on the ceiling, that traditional Texas hill country style, just a gorgeous home on acreage. That is real Dripping Springs. Here's another gorgeous view of the intricacies and details in the kitchen. And there is your view out back. No neighbors for miles. And you get to enjoy that view from your bathtub. There's another view from the back porch. And this to me is what Dripping Springs is made for. So I'm gonna summarize it here. I'm gonna wrap it up for you in the pros and cons. The main best one, those gorgeous hill country views and outdoor access to all things nature. Number 2, top-rated schools. Number 3, sipping and dripping and a wonderful food scene. Number 4, you've got a strong sense of community and family events. You've got just a really good vibe of people sticking together there. Next, it's just a quick drive to Austin. So if you need anything big city, you can get there in just half an hour, pending traffic, of course. And lastly, it's the wedding capital of Texas. So that continues to bring in money and finance to the local economy. Now, what's not so hot? Let's talk about getting to Austin. I know I said it was a pro, but Highway 290 can get pretty backed up with traffic, and they're doing construction on it. They've been doing construction on it for years. They will be doing construction on it for years into the future. They have plans for a big diversion on 290. It could snatch up some private land on either side. In fact, it will, but that is a big con for Dripping Springs. If there's no traffic, it is smooth sailing, easy to get into Austin. But if we're talking traffic times, it can be an absolute bear to get through Oak Hill and actually into Austin. The second con is that, it is growing pretty fast and the infrastructure really is having a hard time keeping up. And we're talking about water and roads. Roads are obvious. Water is not so obvious because it's underground, but you'll have a lot of people in Dripping Springs that will have a private water well in addition to county water or city water. And sometimes the wells run out. It can be kind of tricky. So you really need to do your due diligence on the water in your area before you buy in Dripping Springs. And lastly, if you're into late night nightlife, probably not gonna happen. I mean, Mercer Street is cool, but they kind of roll up the sidewalks when it gets dark. So you're gonna have to pop into Austin if you want any of that true late night disco party time. So that's my take on Dripping Springs, an absolutely awesome little community outside of Austin that if you're into a little bit of that cowboy or country or outdoor vibe, you will absolutely love it. If you want to see some of these properties in person, no problem. We're always here to help you. All you have to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we will show you all around the area to make sure we find the right community and the right house that matches your lifestyle. So until next time, be kind to yourself and others. I can't wait to see you around town.